Welcome to another episode of the FFV podcast. Today I have another amazing guest, a gamer, a builder, and making Web3 games at Faraway, where they build interoperable player-driven universes. Welcome the legend himself, Alex Paley. What's up, my man? Welcome to the show, and how you do it? Is that how you pronounce your last name, my man? Paley?
Yeah. Okay, cool. I appreciate the introduction.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, with the legend yourself, man. I mean, you guys are absolutely killing it out there. I know we were just talking just a minute ago about how busy you guys are. I mean, dude, you could see it all over the timeline. You can see it in your guys' work, and
we see it on my face and my eyes, my hair. You know,
hey, you still looking good, man. Still looking good, but it's the work, man. You know, but hey, man, the first question's always the same. Everybody gets it, but everyone answers it very differently. But tell me, how did you discover cryptocurrency?
How did I discover cryptocurrency?
Yeah.
I mean, this was 2000. Like when I first heard about it, it was like 2013, I want to say.
Oh, damn.
I had we were just, or maybe it was like 2 years out of university, and we were all like, living together in like a house in Seattle. This is like a bunch of friends from college.
Nice.
And one of those friends just was really big into it, kept saying that this is going to change the world, and the US dollar is going to be nothing anymore. Like, it was an interesting conversation. And my first impression was, like, he's insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I laughed, like it was insane. And then, that was the first time I ever heard of Bitcoin.
Damn.
And he was big into everything. But he was definitely, I would say, a first mover here. So then after that, I think, this was 2016 and 2017. Obviously started hearing about it again when, like, I think Bitcoin went to like $300 that year.
Damn. Dude, that's crazy. It's just crazy to hear. But go on.
Yeah, and then it was like, ETH and all of that stuff was coming up. So then I started, like, I bought a miner from Monarch. This is like back in the day. So yeah, that was sort of how I first got into it, and I just found it interesting. And then I think with ETH, with Bitcoin less so, like with ETH and like smart contracts, like we sort of started seeing potential applications in gaming. I think when CryptoKitties hit, that's when, like, I think everybody in gaming first, I want to say, started paying attention.
Yeah.
And then I think the rest is history. But I think for a lot of people in gaming, like 2017, CryptoKitties was a bit of an aha moment.
Damn. So that kind of led you down the road to like NFTs and stuff like that, and where you are at today. But that's crazy, man. Hearing your passion, like cryptocurrency and cryptos and stuff, man. That's wild, man. From like 2013 to 2016 to now, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You hear the same kind of narratives, like the OG narrative, because I still hear that today. I'm not gonna lie, man. I even believe that myself, where your buddy was like, this is the future, US dollar is fucked, just crazy stuff like that. You know what I mean? You still hear that today. Like,
well, and then I was like, how do you get it? He's like, you gotta go in this chat room, and there's a guy, and you pay
a chat room,
and maybe it's like some IRC. I don't know what it was, like back in like the IRC days.
Dude, that's crazy. It's crazy to me because you don't, like, nowadays it's like going to the grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, you pick up
register a Coinbase account, go to a Bitcoin ATM, all of that. But I think back in 2013, he was like, yeah, I got some Bitcoin from this guy in a chat room. Like, I sent him, $50 on PayPal,
dude.
And he sent me, I randomly had some stuff in my wallet. And I was like, that's too complicated for me. I already don't trust people with PayPal. I've gotten like scammed a million times by paying random people to like upgrade my account in games. I was like, I'm done with this.
Nice.
That was a mistake.
Man, that's crazy though, man. I did not know that it went down like that, man. I mean, that's crazy, man. But like, what about, because you're here to stay, you're here, and you're a believer. What about crypto made you a long-term believer of this space?
I mean, just new types of game economies. I think free to play So my background's in like free to play gaming. I've been
Mm.
at like a few studios. I was at Glue, I was at
Oh, damn.
Scopely, and like I think free to play has just become hyper optimized these days, where like I wouldn't say there's a ton of new innovation from like the game design side of things. I think there's better ways to operate like a free to play
Mm.
game,
Okay.
and like maybe some interesting things you can do from like, the UA side of things. But yeah, there hasn't been a ton of innovation on the game
Yeah.
design side of things, I would say, in probably a few years. So, I mean, from like a crypto, Web3, like blockchain side of things, I just look at it from a can this make games and the game economies more interesting? And I think like the answer is like unequivocally like
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, and it's
Yeah.
just how do you do it, right? It's like, you know, yes, it makes things more interesting. It also creates a lot of complexity and like weird issues and exploits. But if you can sort of figure out a way to design around all of those things, like I do think it's like the future of game economies.
No, I completely agree, man. And I'm just you're kind of seeing it play out more, as you know at the beginning, we didn't get such a good rep with Web3 gaming with amongst just the
Yeah,
outside of our bubble. And it's starting to I'm starting to because I'm a huge gamer myself. I'm starting to see people really talk about it without actually saying the words NFTs or Web3 gaming. They'll say this long version of what an NFT is and then
yeah.
say this is the future of gaming. And I'm like, dude, that's what NFTs are. But yeah, man, it's just so cool to see, man. But hey, here on this show, man, we love to hear the origin stories of how things got started. So with Faraway in mind and you guys just absolutely killing it, please tell us what inspired you to start Faraway and how did this idea really start to formulate? What was that aha moment for you guys to start this? To be like, you know what? This is it. This is what we're doing.
I mean, I think it was, you know, obviously it started 2013, but then I think it got more interesting like 2016, 2017 when my co-founder and I were at Glue. And then we started seeing like, hey, there are these gray markets in some of these games that we're operating. Like, could crypto be a possible solve for that? Could introduce just some more interesting like peer-to-peer economies in the games that we can now like monetize versus try to shut down. So I mean, basically, did it at Glue? Unfortunately, Glue is a public company at the time, so doing anything crypto oriented at a public company is sort of a no-go. So
Yeah.
then, sort of fast forward to 2021 when we were at Scopely, and we were just starting to like hit the real beginnings of the bull. And then Dennis and I were there. Dennis, my co-founder, and we said, you know what, like it's happening again. We're not gonna miss the boat this time. So we started Faraway back in this was like late June 2021,
Mm,
and just been grinding away ever since.
damn.
So just more a matter of like missed it in 2017, shouldn't have missed it, wasn't gonna miss it again.
Nice. And I
And I
feel
think a
like
lot of people are the same way. I think a lot of people have this very similar like origin story.
I think so too, and I also think that like the timing is kind of good for you guys. Before like when we mentioned was it Crypto Kitties and stuff like that, Crypto Kitties, and there was another one. There was a really gamified. I forgot what it was called, but basically you like have these two NFTs breed, and they'd make another one, right? And
Yeah,
that's when that's when I kind of just started realizing like, oh shit, dude, like gaming is really starting to not really get out there, but like actually have a splash. And then when
yeah,
that whole thing go down and it just kind of made a bad rep for the Web3 gaming economy and stuff like that to see like and show an example of like, oh, this can't work or something like that. But I think that when you guys started was a great time because before that, I just feel like there just wasn't it was kinda like being in, like, your daddy's, like, nuts, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even fathomable. You don't even
yeah.
know, like, you know what I mean? It's crazy, man, but kinda wanna go back to what you said, man, about when you like, when games shut down games, you know what I mean? That for me, man, I know that's something small, man, but, like, I've played games like, RuneScape and, like, World of Warcraft and other games like that where, it's like and the funny one was, The Matrix. I used to play The Matrix on
The
PC.
Matrix Online.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
dude. I
yeah, I
was
remember that.
I was like a huge Matrix, still am, but I was playing that, and I remember the day when they shut it down. That one in Halo. Dude, it was sad, bro. It was sad, man. It was like a real heartfelt moment for all of us when we gathered together and just kind of like experienced the last day. You know what I mean? The very last day of the game. And it sucks, man, because we can never, ever, ever experience those moments ever again. We'll never play those types of, no, I wouldn't say types of games, but like we wouldn't be able to relive those exact experiences
Yeah.
anymore. You know what I mean? At all. And that what you guys are doing is just really cool. And we'll get into it some more, man. But I just want to say that little thing, man, was just so huge to me. And I'm excited for like Web3 gaming because it saves it all. It's like it's going to be a whole world, like exactly what you guys are building.
Yeah, I think what really sucks though is the Warzone situation, right? Where they shut down Warzone 1, you buy all the stuff there, and then they resell you the same stuff in Warzone 2.
Dude.
I think that's the part that that sucks.
Damn, man. And yeah, I'm excited for you guys to like what you guys are building. We'll get into that, man. So Faraway not only makes games, but helps other makes them too. Can you explain how you guys do that over there? How do you guys help the devs launch their game? And I know that you guys even sometimes help with their economy. What's that process like?
Yeah, so at Faraway we do first party games. So these are games that, are internal. Like we own 100% of them, control 100% of them. These are games like, Mini Royale. Now we have Legends of Tomorrow, which is like a first party game. We have second party games. So these are games that we partner with other, companies, communities, etc. on. So these are games like Serum City, who we partner with Novel Labs on. And then of course, like there's Dookie Dash, which we partner with Yuga on. So those are second party games. And then we recently have started to announce the games that we've been publishing. So these are games that are developed by external studios, but we provide them with everything ranging from like a tech platform, IP, rewards, like game design, like economy, like consulting, UA support, basically what you'd expect from a platform publisher, but with a like Web3 spin. So yeah, these are games like Shadowline, which is this big AAA first-person shooter, and then a game coming out called Rebel Skies. This is integrating like heavy metal IP, and it's a mobile game. It looks like I'd say more no, I wouldn't say more competitive, but it has a Clash Royale style vibes. It's landscape, but it has a lot more in terms of like a campaign mode. It's gonna have a betting mechanic, so it'll have a bunch of stuff. So yeah, these are games that we publish, and we give them a bunch of tools and other types of support in order to just bring their game to market in an interesting way.
Damn, no, that's cool, man. And I'm super happy that you guys do that because we've seen many games come in and really crash and burn. Great concepts, kind of a great lore and stuff like that, but no really backbone, no really real infrastructure where gamers can really just stay and play and stuff like that. But you mentioned Mini Royale, man. What is that exactly? Could you give us an explanation on that?
Yeah, so that was actually the first game that we made as a studio. This was a browser-based first-person shooter. It was built in Solana. It was, I think, it was like the first multiplayer game in Solana. So it was back in the day. Things
you guys are just making history out here, dude. Because this is history. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Things changed quite a bit. Now Solana is like a beast, But this was is a browser-based first-person shooter. It had it was a shooter, but it had more of like an RPG type of economy where you were collecting things, doing quests that required certain guns or certain character skins to enter. We had a bunch of clan wars. So that sort of kicked off everything. Of course, like we learned a ton about how to actually, operate a Web3 game by doing that. And then while building Mini Royale, like we did a lot of work on our platform. So this was like our developer platform that is now the platform that these external studios use. So we've been pretty intentional from the beginning about like, we're going to build games. While building games in parallel, we're going to be building this platform for ourselves to allow us to develop more games faster and in a more stable, secure, etc. way. And yeah, we started off in Solana. Then we moved to EVM with Serum City. That made our platform EVM compatible. And then we're continuing to support new chains, like mostly like EVM app chains.
Damn. So you guys are going to be basically the powerhouse, the one-stop shop. everything that everything that a dev needs, basically, you guys have, correct?
Yeah, anything a
Nice.
dev or even a creator needs. Like if
Yeah,
a
that's
creator
right.
wants to make assets, sell those assets so they can be used in all of our
That's
games,
so cool,
we
man.
provide those tools as well.
So how
So
and that's
yeah,
another thing I wanted to get into, man, which was the, is the UGC and the creator program the same thing, or is it kinda
yeah,
just
creator suite.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
would
Yeah,
love
so
for you to
we're
get into that, my man. What exactly is that, and how could players really benefit from using something like that?
yeah, we were big believers in UGC just from like a gaming standpoint.
Okay.
And then when it comes to like crypto, I think like UGC is made even better, purely because like a creator can get paid like instantly with every sale. You
Oh,
can
wow,
do like
instantly.
complex rev share payments as well. So let's say you work with, 10 other creators on the single asset. Whenever that asset sells, all 10 creators get paid instantly at point of sale. There's nothing like a
Nice.
Roblox or a Steam marketplace has where it's saying like, you know what, you need to make $100 in order to even get paid to begin with. And then we're
Jeez.
going to take, some crazy percentage of it. And then the other thing is like all of these creator items, they're interoperable in a bunch of games right now. So like our belief with UGC is that yes, designing some, creator asset to be used in a single game is cool, but what if that creator asset was an NFT and it could be used in a ton of different experiences, both like inside and outside of our ecosystem? So right now, these creator assets can be used in Mini Royale, Dookie Dash. There's some
Damn.
stuff in Serum City, and then we've been doing these. We've been trying to like settle on this like interoperability standard. So for avatars, at least, we're using the same Ready Player Me skeleton. So
Mm.
any of these avatars are also playable in any game that supports Ready Player Me avatars as well. So yeah, our belief is just like interoperability, composability, and then yeah, like a thriving user-generated content ecosystem where you can take your asset anywhere you want.
Dude, that's so fucking cool, man. Especially obviously for like the creator suite. I've done so. I put my ape on there, man. It's super
Yeah,
cool, man. I love seeing it up there, man. And I gotta speak from like my experience and also just like in the gamer experience, like a what ifs kind of scenario. But like, dude, I'd be so fucking stoked just to see my work, my creative things just inside of a game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's just something so special about it. You know what I mean? Where
It's a cool feeling.
it's
It's a
so
cool
fucking
feeling. And
cool.
then it was even a cooler feeling is you see somebody else making a
Yeah.
video playing
Yeah.
with your ape or playing with something you made in their game. And I
Yeah.
think it's like yes, it's a really cool feeling.
It helps us really support each other because if we're stoked on what we're using while the creator is being fucking stoked that other people are using it, it just adds a little bit more magic than, buying it from the store, from the
Yeah.
marketplace or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Man, dude,
Yeah.
I'm super excited for what you guys are doing, what you guys will be doing, man. It's so fucking cool, man.
Yeah,
You
and
guys,
when
you
Dookie
mentioned
Dash launches, when Dookie Dash launches like very soon, it's gonna make all of those apes that people have been making and selling on the storefronts will you'll just see them now
dude.
in Dookie Dash, and you can take them to Mini Royale, take them to a bunch of other places. So
Oh,
it'll be
dude.
cool. I think right now just our thing is more games, more utility, more places for people to see their cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. And I don't know, man. I think that you guys, the timing was just perfectly spot on when you guys started, in my opinion. Because as time goes on, Web3 gaming is just slowly getting more popular and popular. But with that being said, man, you mentioned like Web3 gaming challenges. What's like the main differentiator? Because you built games before, from like Web3 gaming challenges versus regular traditional Web 2, Web 1 games like that. What's the differences? Like what have you experienced that's like unique? Something that they wouldn't understand only in Web 3 would.
I mean, monetization is quite different, right? Because now you're not worried just about like rarity. You're worried about like the scarcity of your item. Like,
Mhm.
for example, if you have a legendary sword and that in game that legendary sword is legendary,
Yeah.
but if there's so many of that legendary sword, right? And there's not enough players, right? That legendary sword becomes a lot less like legendary when it comes
Yeah.
to like, market dynamics. So you're worried about like the global supply of an item and the influence of, or I guess sort of the interrelationship between like rarity and scarcity. And obviously, if a sword is legendary in game, you want the price of that sword to be very high, like outside of the game when it trades in the free market. So yeah, you're balancing now two things instead of just saying like, yeah, this is a legendary sword. Like a ton of people are going to have it. Those people can't trade, so it doesn't matter. But as soon as you enable some sort of peer-to-peer trading, it definitely matters. So yeah, global supply definitely matters. I think the issues you deal with, like bots, farmers, Sybil attacks, etc. Like you need to make sure that if there is sort of any earning component to your game, whether it's earning a token, earning NFTs, like all of that, again, like you need to now design around the fact that like there will be bad actors or just people that will, play your game in ways that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
Right. Or play the game like for more hours than you could ever imagine, and burn through all of your content like faster than you could ever imagine. And you sort of just need to design with that as an expectation going in.
Damn. So you guys, to me, man, when as you were explaining that, man, it really seems like we're really creating a digital world. You know what I mean? When you see scarcity and stuff like that, and you're worried about the legendary sword and things like that, it reminds me of like something, I don't know, something rare, like a rare comic book or something like that.
Yeah, and that's just NFTs, right? I think as soon as you start integrating like fungible tokens in your game, I think it's like an entirely different beast. Yeah, because then you're making the trade-off like, is it better for me to price everything in my fungible token, like pump up the price by creating a lot of demand for that token and then maybe burning part of that token as some deflationary mechanism, or is it better to just take in USDC? So there's a lot of choices, and which things do you price in some stable coin or some like I don't call it public blockchain token, like right, and which do you price in your own like game token?
Yeah, I didn't think about that, man, because yeah, you're right. I mean, most game for me, for example, dude. I mean, like pretty much every token that I've ever gotten, whether it be playing games or just an airdrop or something like that, I immediately swap it for stables. What does that do for the coin? It just it just sends it lower, and yeah, that's a fucking beast, man. Damn, I didn't think about it like that. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So then, like, if you're the studio or you're the foundation that like has minted that coin, like you need people to sync that coin, and then you need to think like, okay, when the people sync the coin and we receive the coin, what do we do with it? Do we put it back into circulation, or do we burn it? And I think various people have different ideas on like what to do, but
because it could go either way. It could go either way, like bad or good. I meant, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, and then if your token is, you have X amount of your token in your treasury and it's pumping, you're like, maybe I should sell it. Maybe I shouldn't sell it because it'll go higher. So I think it's also managing your treasury.
Yeah.
It's like a very different way to
our own little country,
Yeah, for sure.
Damn, man. So that's crazy, man. Hey, before we move on, man, I gotta ask, man. This is like a quick question, man. More of my curiosity, but what type of video games were you playing growing up? What type of games did you like?
I mean, I played everything. I played obviously I played shooters. That was like the easy stuff. Like, I mean, Unreal Tournament I was big in.
Okay.
Obviously Halo is big in, but I played a lot of RPGs too, like Final Fantasy, Morrowind, like the Elder Scrolls, like pre-Oblivion. I was big in. I mean, what else did I play? I mean, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Like N64 stuff. I mean, Star Fox. I was like big in. Obviously, like Smash.
Yeah.
Like N64 Smash. Like
I've never played that one, dude. I've only played the Wii version.
No, I had a friend in this was in, I want to say like elementary school or middle school, whatever that thing came out. But he was part Japanese, so he actually had an N64 before anybody else in the US did. And I remember going over to his house, and I was like, "Whoa, this is wild," And then then
That's
yeah,
crazy,
I
man.
play it
That's
whenever
so
I could.
cool, man. I'm kind of the same way, man. I've been playing games since I don't know. I remember the first console that I got was my Xbox. That's my first console, the very first Xbox that I
Yeah.
got. No, actually, no, I forgot. No, that's not it. It was a Sega, a Sega. It was a Sega, and my first game I ever played, random, but it was like one of those Pink Panther. It was a Pink Panther game, and you just walk around this haunted house and shit like that. But the
Yeah.
one that got me was the Xbox. When you turned it on, I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!"
I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the first like game that I actually had my. That was the first console that I actually had like myself.
yeah, yeah, me
Um,
too.
my parents didn't want me to, play all of these other consoles, so I play them whenever I could. But yeah,
How come they didn't want you playing the other ones?
you got to focus on school.
Ah, yeah, yep, I
School,
feel that.
yeah, and tennis. So that was the thing.
It's crazy what the future brought, huh? And because I got the same thing, like get off the game, all you do is spend time on the game, no more games, all this shit, man. But it's crazy to think that now people making careers out of playing video games, creating video games, and
Yeah,
and now building worlds
yeah,
around video games, man.
yeah.
But
My co-founder and I, we started building like mobile games. This was back when we were in high school, so we were like 17, and it's changed so much. Unity wasn't even out. I remember when like yeah, there was like Cocos 2D, which is like this like very old like engine came out, and people were like, "Oh my god, this is the future." And then it just became bigger and bigger. Like Unreal wasn't even like people didn't even think about like Unreal for like a mobile phone or Unreal in general,
yeah.
honestly.
Oh, hell no.
Um, but yeah, it was yeah, things have changed quite a bit. So
Yeah.
gaming has definitely evolved.
Yeah, and I'm excited that you guys are a part of that. A
Yeah,
part of that evolution. As gaming goes, I think that you guys are going to be the main hub. I can't tell the future, but with everything being set up, you not only you guys creating games, making them, and supporting others creating games, but helping the creator economy too. You know what I mean? With players can create things, make things, and really use them in ways that they want to be used, and I think
yeah,
that like one day s- other I think it's just going to make a big splash when someone out there in the outside of our bubble realizes this, you know what I mean, starts making content and things around you guys where we're like, this is the fucking future of gaming right here, dude. And it's
yeah.
crazy because we can't be really, and it sucks at the same time because we can't really say like, hey, these are NFTs because it has like such a bad rep and stuff like that. Like, how do you guys like market that way to like say NFTs, or how do you
We
guys
say
really?
like collectibles, items, digital collectibles. We
Nice.
try not to
Okay.
say NFTs because like for a random player, like one, it has a bad connotation. Like two, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
true.
It's just like a technology. So I think from a game standpoint, they just need to know that these are items in their inventory. And
Yeah.
yes, they're backed by like an NFT, and that is like the data type, or the way that these items are stored. But they're just game items.
Yeah, I kind of like that what you said, and the word NFTs really mean nothing because you're right. It's what's being added to it, what the technology is being used for. That's what that
Yeah,
we use. I might take that because I do the same thing in a way where I'm like, hey, we're this is all NFTs. We're in the NFT community. I don't say like the Bored Ape community or the Pudgy Penguin. I say the NFT community. You know what I mean? It's a whole
yeah.
grand speck of things. But hey, man, little detour, small little detour, but really want to gather your thoughts and opinions on where we're at with Web3 gaming as a whole. When you look out into what's going on, what do you think? What do you think where we're at? And are you happy with it? Would you change anything? What do you think?
I think I just wish the expectations were lower when it
Mm.
came to how quickly you can make a game. I
Oh,
think that's
dude.
yeah, I think that's where we sort of ran into trouble. Back in 2021, I think everybody, retail, like investors, studios who might have not made like games before, they all thought it was possible to make an amazing game in a year.
Huh.
Like, good luck,
Yeah.
you know? And I think because of that, like a lot of people saw broken promises, they saw scams, they saw all of these things. So I think the state where we are in like Web3 gaming is, I think, finally some good games have had enough time to come to market. So I think like some big ones that I think are like quite promising are like the off the grid game. I think that's like
Mm,
very promising.
yeah, insane. I can't believe how far they've gone.
Yeah, it's like real game by real studio.
Hmm.
Took the proper amount of time to actually make the game. It's been in dev for, I don't know, it's like 3, maybe 4 years. Like
Nice.
which
Nice.
sounds about right, you know,
Yeah.
by a big team. Yeah, that game come out. There's Maple Story, I think is coming out soon. Again, big game by a big experienced team. So I think finally we're now going to start seeing some like real games like come out that have just been people have just been building in the background, maybe not saying a lot. So yeah, I think I'm hoping that in the next year we actually start seeing some real games that a traditional gamer would not even say like, "Hey, this is an NFT game." They would say like, "Hey, this is a this is a real game and I'm playing for fun." Yes, there is like some additional like Web3 side of the economy, but it's like opt in. It's like I can opt into the Web3 side or I don't need to. And
Nice.
that's where we sort of skew on this like, you know, spectrum when it comes to studios. We're much more in the like Web 2.5 type of
Mm,
studio. Of course, there's like the ultra degen types of pure Web3 games or on-chain games. I think that's not where we are. Where we are is like we want to make mainstream games with a different or additive type of economy on top of them, and we want to use Web3 for interesting like user acquisition and retention means. But yeah, and I think like there's a few games that are coming out that I would consider mainstream games that a person would be pleasantly surprised to play and then realize later on like, okay, there's also something a little bit different. So
yeah.
yeah, I think that's where we are. So I'm hoping the next year we start seeing some cool stuff.
Yeah, I agree, man. And with the whole grid game too, man. I saw it on my TL. I saw a few people talking about it. I thought that was just a regular game, like not just a regular game, but like no NFTs, Web3 or crypto integrate or nothing like that. I thought it was
Yeah,
just a game, a new release game that's out and about in the wild. And once I started realizing, like, oh shit, this is an actual kind of NFT Web3 game. I was like, holy fuck, they didn't really solely focus. And that's the thing, man, is that like in the beginning, a lot of games, and I get it, I understand, but like a lot of games were really solely focused on the crypto aspect of it and not necessarily a great fucking game. You know what I mean? Like I played some games out there. They're good. They're not great, but like you could tell that like some of these games are more geared towards crypto stuff. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
like skins and things like that along those lines. And I said this a while back, and I was just like, you know, I love all the Web3 integrations. I love NFTs and stuff like that. But for me personally, I love like a great fucking story game. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
love campaign mode. That's my shit. I love playing multiplayer. It's fun, but the campaign mode is where I live at. Campaigns
yeah,
a great, just a great fucking story, man. But yeah, man, that
yeah.
that was a really go ahead.
No, say even look at Shadowline by us.
Yeah,
Like
such a
it's
fucking
it's
fun
an
game, dude.
awesome game.
I told you the begin. I don't know if I told you. I told somebody. I think I might have told Spencer, dude. I was playing. I was trying to get through the tutorial, and I was like, I'm gonna get through the tutorial, and then I'm gonna make a video about the campaign and stuff. Bro, the tutorial itself was so much fucking fun, dude.
Yeah,
I was having a blast. I was like, dude, I'm gonna flip the fucking camera on right now,
yeah.
dude. This is fucking fun, dude. But go ahead. You were talking about Shadowline.
No, yeah. I mean, it's a real game, and
Yeah.
it's it's fun to like a normal player.
Yeah.
And it'll also be fun to a Web3 player. Like there's the Web3 element to it, but it's opt in. Like there's nothing that says the experience will be less fun for a traditional gamer. There's just something additional. But and if you want to participate, like cool, like participate. If you don't, like we would love to have you still in the game.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And with that, do you believe that like Web3 gaming will eventually merge or replace traditional gaming? Or do you think it's going to be both?
I think it could be both. I think it'll be additive. I
Okay.
think people will use it in different ways. Like like for interoperability, like in our mind, like interoperable assets are a great like user acquisition and
Yeah.
retention mechanism, like especially if your goal is to create this ecosystem like we're trying to create. So I mean, for us, like we have a bunch of games in our ecosystem. The thing that holds all of those games together is these interoperable assets. So our goal is really like using interoperability to facilitate like retentive experiences where if a person says, you know what, I don't want to play Shadowrun anymore, but I still love my heavy metal, like, cool, okay, we have other games as well that can use a heavy metal asset. Go try that for a little bit and then maybe come back to Shadowrun tomorrow, you know?
Yeah. It's a whole world, man. It's literally a whole fucking world, man. And
Yeah.
I love that shit, man, because you can just if I don't feel this way this time, I can go over here, but still use the same kind of tools and skins that I can get. The one skin that I was so like kind of I never obtained it and I've never had it before, like, but I've always wanted it and now I can't is the Halo, the fucking I forgot what the armor is called, but you know what I'm talking about with the crazy helmet and the crazy body armor and stuff
I
like
think
that.
so. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think so.
dude, I always, ever since I was a child, I've always wanted to have that armor and like just rock it. You know what I mean? Because like when you see a player out there with that fucking armor on, you know that is a
Yeah.
badass motherfucker right there. You know what I mean?
For
But
sure.
it's cool, man, because now you get to do that here. You get to unlock some fucking dope ass armor, dope ass whatever, some cool shit. And not only do you get to flex that in one game, you get to flex them on all games because games are universal. Everybody knows a Halo, everybody knows a Mario, everybody knows it. So when you see these armors and these characters in other games, you're like, holy fuck, that's from Halo. That's a badass armor. That guy's fucking badass. It's cool, man. You know what I mean? I just love to see. I can see the vision. I can see the vision for myself, at least, of how I'm going to be participating in this stuff, man. But
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Like our goal is like this interoperable ecosystem, and I'll have a bunch of games. Some we'll make ourselves, some will partner with other people, and some will publish.
Yeah.
But like for games that we're publishing, like our goal is like keep people, you know, get new people into the game and then keep people coming back to your game and like don't let them leave the ecosystem. As long as you don't let them leave the ecosystem, then we have a way to get them back into your game.
It's gonna be cool, man, because I know for a fact like one day like you guys will be just so big, dude, to where like I'm in one game and head into another game that I wouldn't even know that you guys had anything to do with or worked with, and it's just the whole world. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fucking dope, man.
Yeah,
But
and that's the goal. And like, I mean, for our developer platform, like we built that to make it insanely easy for a traditional game studio to onboard into Web3 and for the players of those games to have a, you know, a Web3 experience without even realizing, you know, they have a Web3 experience.
It's
you know,
just
they don't need a
in
MetaMask or a Phantom. Like we'll give you a wallet. You can still pay in credit card. It doesn't matter. Like we just want a really seamless experience.
Nice. Yeah, and it really does seem like it, man. Especially when I go into like your page and stuff like that. It's really user friendly. You know what I mean? I'm not some smart techie kind of guy. I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm probably just like your basic guy. But you know, when I go to the Faraway homepage, and it's very clear on what can be done. There's not really a whole bunch of mentions of like crypto or like NFTs and stuff like that. But what you guys use, like mentioned before, is UGC collectibles and digital collectibles and things like that, man. But you guys are just crushing it out there, man. It's really like just fucking crushing it. But really wanted to get into some Web3 games that you genuinely enjoy or watching from the sidelines, but love what they're doing. Is any come to mind?
I watch a lot of them, you know. I mean, I think like everybody was watching Pixels. Of course, like everybody watched Axie, like back in 2021. I mean, watching Off the Grid right now, seeing like what they're doing. I mean, I was watching like Crypto Raiders, like back in the day, seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like, I mostly watch our own games, you know what I mean? Because there's
your head down, bro. Your head's down.
Quite a lot going on there, and like quite a lot to manage and make sure that things mesh together. But yeah, I think there's a few studios doing like interesting things. A lot of studios doing things that I don't agree with, but some studios I think doing stuff that's cool. I think the Pirate Nation team made a lot of like smart decisions. with their like basically their gate to trading. I think not everybody can trade, or there's some sort of gate or process you need to go into
Oh,
in
damn.
order to enable like trading. So I think people are definitely getting like more sophisticated, learning from their mistakes, and then like we're just learning from other studios too. So yeah, we play a bunch of stuff, but I think right now we're like very heads down
Yeah.
in making sure that we have a bunch of upcoming releases that need to get through the door.
Yeah. What don't you like about what the other studios are doing? And you don't have to be, specific or name names or anything like
Yeah,
that. Just, yeah, what they're doing.
I think like creating NFTs for the sake of NFTs, like if it's not necessary to have an item to be tradable, like don't make it tradable.
Okay.
Um, like games that are purely about pumping out tokens but don't have a use or like a day one use for that token.
Mm,
I don't
okay.
understand it because it's sort of just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It's kind of
Um,
like, what am I going to do with this thing?
yeah, there's a bunch of like play to airdrop stuff, and like I get that I'm going to get a token, but I think the first question that I at least have is like, what do I use the token? Some
Yeah.
studios have an answer for that. A lot of studios surprisingly don't, and they'll say, you know what, we'll figure it out. I think those are the studios that I don't understand
Yeah. Yeah. And
because
it,
it's
go
yeah,
ahead.
it's like once you release your token, like you can't
It's
go
out.
back.
It's
Yeah,
out. Yeah. Yeah, you're just like you say, you can't go back, and it's yeah, dude, it's we've seen and experienced many things like that, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, is it does it look good? Is it can it be done to where like can you make just another token? But is that doesn't really seem like a great idea. It doesn't really seem like a positive. I don't feel confident if in people like that. You know what I mean? Like once the coin is out, my man. And you're right, man. If there's not, for example, like me, I like to use myself as a use case a lot because I participate in a lot of this stuff. Dude, as soon as I get these airdrops, bro, I'm selling them. I'm selling them
yeah,
for ETH. I'm selling them for Sol, whatever the fuck. I if there is no upfront use case at all, dude, I'm going to sell. I don't know why I would hold it. Why hold it if I can't use it for anything else other than
yeah,
holding it? You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I
But
think like game tokens are also like I find tough because games are they're not up only, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And if you're gonna have a token, like you sort of do want it to be like, or at least have the potential to continue to accrue in value over time.
Is that kind of why
So
like you guys didn't like because we have like Ronin and like other things like that. Is
I
that
think
why you guys?
I think
Yeah.
ecosystem level tokens like make sense,
Yeah. Okay.
or like
Okay.
publisher level tokens make sense. But game, if it's purely a game token, I don't know if it makes as much sense.
Gotcha.
Unless your goal is to continue building like other, like basically using that game as a catalyst for creating some IP that'll have a bunch of different games attached to it.
Mm,
But yeah, I think if it's your plan is just single game, stay with that game and pray that the token will go up only. I think like you're probably making a mistake.
yeah. I agree, man. So before we move on, man, what's your vision for the future of Web3 gaming look like, and where do you see Fairway fitting into that vision?
I think more like ecosystems.
Mm,
Basically, I think there'll be a few meaningful like ecosystems that have a bunch of games. I think we're already starting to see like there's Ronin,
yeah.
there's Treasure, there's a few other ones. Um, that's where we're going as well, and I think like yeah, it just makes a lot more sense. Like when you're talking about interoperability, like an ecosystem like is the only place where interoperability can really shine. If it's just interoperability in a single game and then you're hoping that other games will use your assets, I think like it's not a really good like business plan to sort of count on hope.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 no doubt, man. And the whole thing with the kind of like what you mentioned earlier, the whole patience thing with the just with the community too, man. It's like a mixture of all these things that could really lead to like a bad situation more
Yeah.
likely. But yeah, man, it's going crazy right there. Random question, man, and I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but why did you guys decide to purchase heavy metal and Legends of Mara?
I played a ton of Dookie Dash, like
Yeah.
back in the day, like a crazy amount. I never
Oh,
paid
dude.
anybody to play for me, but I was
Me
grinding
too.
and trying to
Me
get
too.
good. So I mean, we loved like just the heavy metal IP, and we
Mm.
also loved like the Legends of Tomorrow IP. I think a lot of people don't know this, but we were working on a Legends of Tomorrow game, or we are working on a Legends of
Mm.
Tomorrow game, like
Yeah.
still. But previously, it was partnered with Yuga, but then it made sense, as Yuga was, shifting focus more towards like BAYC and other side. We just saw like, hey, we love this IP, we love working on it. We also love heavy metals, and like, it's like there could be so much more done with it, and so much more that we can do today with that IP. So yeah, we chatted with you guys, said like, hey, here's our plan for what we want to do here. Like, it's good for both of us. It's good for the community, and let's do it. And I think thankfully they agreed, and
Yeah.
I hope we're doing a good job.
Oh,
Um,
dude, I mean, I don't know. Dude, have you seen the TL about that stuff, man? Dude, you
yeah,
guys are
we're doing our
fucking
best.
crushing it, dude.
We're
Crushing
doing
it,
our
bro. Like,
best. Yeah,
dude,
I think
and I love Bored Apes. I love you. I love all of them, dude. But fuck, dude, that was an awful fucking game. It was an awful, dude. I played all their games. I
Forge.
played, dude. Yeah, Forge. I played fucking the very first one that they made, mutants and apes versus the versus thing. I
Yeah,
played that. I played the Dookie Dash. I played. I think that's it so far. Whatever games
yeah,
they had, I played them all, dude. But dude, I was so fucking bored with that game, dude. It was ridiculous, dude. Like I tried my best to have fun, but like after the fifth day, I was like, dude, this is ridiculous, dude. I'm done. And so I gave up. I even and it's funny because I've never told this story, bro. I never told this story, man. But dude, I fucking I was on Twitter and my dumbass saw some claim thing and it was like a phishing thing, but luckily like I was on a hot wallet, so nothing too crazy was on there. And but like two of my heavy metals were on there, and I saw that and I was like, whatever, I don't
yeah,
care, whatever.
yeah.
Like, at least I don't have to play the fucking game out there anymore. But dude, back to what the perception of what you guys are doing, dude. I see it on the TL. Even within because I'm in like some Web3 gaming group chats, dude. It's you guys are fucking killing it, dude. Like we love what you guys are doing. We love the integration with fucking the Shatterline, the Legends of the Mara. Dude, it's so cool seeing the capsules, the little Legends of the Mara capsules inside the games and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
fucking dope, dude. Like you guys are crushing it. For me personally, and from like the groups that I've been interacting with, dude, you guys are fucking killing heavy metal, dude.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, our goal is just maximum utility, like maximum interoperability
Yeah.
for that collection.
Yeah, dude.
Um, so yeah, I mean, that's the good thing. It's like we make a bunch of games, we publish a bunch of games, so interoperability and maximum utility is something that we can do. So
Yeah.
when we just were talking to Yuga about like what's our plan, how can we do like a good job here? I think it's like the one thing I think heavy metals were missing is just utility. It's like where can you use these cool
Yeah.
things? It was the Forge. I think that game, from what it's worth, I think the game had a lot of good ideas. I think it had some mechanics that were just very bad and like made it a bad experience overall. But I think there was
Yeah.
actually a lot of good there. But yeah, I think yeah, when we said like what, Forge closed down, heavy metals have nothing now. Where it comes to like, use, we were like, okay, like we can definitely do a lot, like immediately. So it was put them in Serum City immediately.
Nice.
We'll announce the Shadowline stuff and the Rebel Sky stuff like very soon. We started making a bunch of 3D models, so now you see a bunch of heavy
Ooh.
metals in Nifty Island. So yeah, we don't care if
Damn.
it's only interoperable in our ecosystem. Like we want them everywhere. Like I just want. I've told like everybody this. Like I want heavy metals to be in every single game possible.
Damn. Hey, that's what's up, man. I love
Yeah.
to hear it, man. Damn, man. That's so fucking cool, man. Excuse me. So from the outside looking in, Fairway looks like it's absolutely crushing it. I would agree. But what are some key challenges you and the team had to face, and what did you guys do to overcome those challenges at that time throughout your whole journey?
I think the biggest challenge is always like bandwidth. It's like
Bandwidth, okay.
bandwidth, like how much can you take on your plate at a
Mm,
specific time? Like saying no to a lot of cool things is something that
Ah,
we've had to do. Um,
what's that like? What do you mean cool? Like, just things that you're
so there's
excited
always
about, and
like,
you're
yeah,
like,
there's always like awesome opportunities that come. Like, hey, we can, make this game with this other like awesome community,
okay,
and or like we can integrate this community's NFTs into this game, or we can do some brand deal here and really do this. But it's saying like, how does it fit into the plan? How
yeah.
does it make the ecosystem better? If it's not clear that it's like immediately synergistic, like we deprioritize.
Mm.
Um,
You guys are
but we
really
do
focused.
focus, like we say yes to a lot, so I
Mhm.
won't pretend that like we
Yeah.
don't. Like clearly you see all the stuff that we have going on. um Thankfully, like Spencer joined us recently from Yuga. Like we've worked with Spencer at Glue. This has been 10 years, right? So it's like we
Damn,
worked with Spencer at Glue, we worked with Spencer at Scopely. Like he was actually our boss at Scopely, so like
that's
we work
crazy.
super well together. So I think having him on the team has really, like, it's like another one of like me or Dennis, you know what I mean? So it's good. So we have now more bandwidth, which I think is great. But
Nice.
yeah, I think it's just always a matter of like prioritizing it
Yeah.
and understanding like your own personal bandwidth. Because like my take is that, like, unless like one of us, like me, Dennis, or Spencer, is like actually focused on something, like don't do it. Right. If
Mm,
we can't say that like we are gonna be like all over something, um, we can't ensure that it's gonna go well. And I think the team also understands that, like, when me, Dennis, or Spencer aren't like hyper focused on something, um, it means that it's like not as important. And when you're part of the team and you're working on a not as important product, like you're never gonna get a good outcome.
yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, if there's ever a time where I can't be like all over something, we'll just say no.
Damn, that's nice. That's good, man, because you're right. You want that, and you could feel it with the things that you create today, with you and the team, what you guys create today. There's magic, man. There's magic in these things, man, and you could feel it. I don't know what it is, man. If it's a human kind of a trait or whatever, but like you can tell when someone puts their all into something, when someone loves something that they've created,
Yeah.
or something along those lines. You can just tell. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of things, right? But it's just if I can't dedicate enough focus to
yeah,
those things, then we just won't do it. So it's like
yeah,
both, I have to love it, and I have to make sure I can focus like
yeah.
an extreme amount on
Yeah.
it.
And I love that, man, because you guys have just been executing on some high levels, man. But not only, I don't want to focus just on some challenges, but what has been the best moments during your time at Faraway?
I mean, launching Mini Royale like back in 2021 was sort of crazy. Like it
Yeah.
was just weird to see like, hey, there's this thing in my wallet. Now it appears in this game. Like it was like a bit of a surreal experience. Like I remember, I think, yeah, back in 2020, it was like December 2021. Like Solana didn't even have a way to mint like individual NFTs on demand. So we just made so much weird custom stuff. Yeah, back then it was like you had to use the candy machine, but you had
Oh,
to preset like I'm gonna have X amount in the collection. And we were like, well, for a game, we don't know how many
yeah,
there are gonna
yeah,
be,
yeah.
because it sort of depends on the number of people playing the game, how many assets are minted. So there was a lot of like firsts that we did, and I think that's always exciting. Um, and then I think like, yeah, the starting to see external studios like use our developer platform has been like really exciting, because you're like, we sort of went into a hole. Like we said, hey, we are gonna make a bunch of games ourselves. We're gonna build all of this stuff in parallel. Like the team was always asking, like, when are other studios, gonna be using it? When are we gonna open it up? And our answer was like, when it's ready. Like
Mm,
when we are
yeah.
actually internally confident that it's speeding up our own teams, we will start externalizing it to other studios to use. And I think seeing the Shadowline team integrate our platform, seeing the Rebel Skies team like integrate our platform has been like pretty cool for the
Nice.
team. It's just a years of work, and finally seeing it sort of come to fruition,
Yeah.
and getting like real feedback from like major studios has been really cool. But
Damn.
there's been a lot of cool stuff that I'm excited about. Like heavy metal, seeing the community turn from like super negative against us. And I think they hated us, day one,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
it's like relatively positive. Just as I think they see like consistency from
Yeah.
us. It's like we are going to be here. Like you're going to hate us for a while. We're going to tell you a lot of like bad news that like games can't be made in 30 days,
Yeah.
but we're going to make daily progress, and we'll be very transparent about here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff, here's the progress that we're making. And I think people like that, and it's been cool to see some of our like biggest like people that hated us the most now starting to sort of come around.
Yeah. I feel like they're like because I've seen it too myself, you know, and I always give the sorry, the kind of the analogy of like when your parent tells you something that's good for you and you're just kind of just like, okay,
yeah,
fine, you know what I mean? And you're mad
yeah,
at first, but as time progresses, you're like, okay, yeah, my mom or dad was right. This is probably a good thing for me, and that's what
yeah,
it gives me. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. It was like, my parents were like, play the piano. I was like, I hate piano. I hate
Yeah.
to do it, playing every day. And now it's clearly a good thing. It's like
Yeah,
play the piano, and I can play
exactly,
the
man.
piano.
You sat us down and you're like, "Yo, this is
Yeah,
what's gonna happen. This is how long it takes. I know it sucks for you guys, but we're gonna
yeah,
be here anyway." That's fucking
yeah,
awesome, man. And I love that.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
you could see that on like the TL and stuff like that. When people mentioning you guys, like, dude, I mean, yeah, at first it was like, ah, what are they doing? Whatever, whatever. But now, dude, it's I haven't seen or heard of one bad or negative thing about you guys. You know, it's you guys, like I said, absolutely crushing it, man. But
I hope so. Yeah, now a lot of stuff to get right coming up
yeah,
because of
yeah.
like layered.
You guys have like a lot of pressure on you. Do you feel that at all, or how do you kind of see that way? Because you know, when I think of Web3 gaming and NFTs and gaming and stuff like that, I think of Faraway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's great. I don't think of far away. Even when I think of
No,
Web3 gaming, I think of like other ecosystems that were here
really.
before us. Yeah, I mean,
I just think you guys are just up front and center. You know what I mean?
definitely, but I mean, yeah, we're one of them. But I think like the Ronin guys have done like an amazing job. Like they've created like a very cool ecosystem. I think the Treasure guys, like whoever does their UIs and UXs and just overall like experience there, I think is doing an amazing job. I think we're always looking at like other ecosystems for how to do a better job.
Mm,
But yeah, there's a bunch of pressure. I think there's a bunch of pressure on everybody in order to deliver something good. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Especially if you've been building for a while. But yeah, we feel the pressure, but I mean, just gotta keep going.
you got to keep going. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
that, man. What's one or two pieces of advice you would give someone that wants to create games within Web3? What's the first thing you would tell them to do today?
Um, don't make a Web3 game if your plan is to only sell cosmetics. Like,
Mm,
forget it.
okay. Is that what
Right.
you kind of see out there?
I think everybody says, I mean, everybody back in 2021, they were like, Fortnite would be so much better with NFTs. And for players, like maybe, but for Fortnite, the game would make no
No.
money.
Yeah.
Like the
No.
studio would be not making Fortnite anymore because
Yeah.
there would be no money coming in. And I
Yeah.
think like, but yeah, back in the day, it was like League of Legends should be all NFTs. Fortnite should be like, no, because it just breaks the business model of the studio, and then the studio
Yeah.
can't make your game anymore.
I didn't think
So
about
it's
it
like,
like that, man. I was one of those people. I was like, dude, NFTs and Fortnite, it makes sense.
yeah,
What the fuck?
from a player perspective, I
Yeah.
think it makes a lot of sense. It'd be amazing, right? If I could, instead of paying Epic, $20 for this skin, my friend just sent it to me for free to use it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And that'd be of course like awesome, but unfortunately
That
Fortnite
would
would be bankrupt at that
yeah,
point,
they'd be like,
right?
"Yeah,
If
we're done."
everybody just shared with their friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Kinda
so
like
I think like
Netflix passwords.
yeah, exactly. And like clearly Netflix password sharing was a huge issue for Netflix,
Yeah.
which is why they've now solved it or relatively solved it.
Yeah.
So I say, yeah, if you're making a Web3 game, like understand what you're going to put like on chain, because like once you put it on chain, you can't take it off chain. So like be pretty intentional there. I think in like game dev in general, like understand the amount of content that you're going to need to make in order to support like the live operation of your game. Like everybody always is like, I made this, really cool core gameplay. And I'm like, okay, well, like unless you're going to sell it for $60 and you're confident that people are going to buy it for $60, you might have to give it away for free,
Mm.
get the player base in, and then you're going to need to figure out like what content do you sell, and then at what cadence do you continue to produce that content and sell that content.
Okay.
And if you don't have a plan for live operations, like, you are truly screwed.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's some solid advices there, man, and definitely some key takeaways there, man, that people should really think about, man. And especially like when you were talking about earlier, when you were talking about really the economy of tokens and gaming tokens and stuff like that. You really taught me a few things there, man. It's really got me thinking. And also like the what you just said about the whole NFT and like Fortnite and stuff like that. And you're right, man. That from a player's perspective, from my perspective as a player, yeah, you're right. It would be fucking awesome. You know what I mean? That's all I want to do. But it would fucking
There would be no more
destroy,
Fortnite.
yeah, it would destroy Fortnite. Yeah.
Yeah, I think economies where there's like some sort of like obsolescence mechanic, right? Where it's like the item degrades over time, or it gets burnt and breaks over time. I think like where there's crafting, like in Serum City, there's like a ton of crafting where there's constant minting and burning.
Okay.
I think you could do stuff, and I think trading can make those types of economies feel like really fun. But if there's, it's like permanent, like up only value, and the only time the developer makes money is when they sell the asset for the first time, and then from then on out, like, there's no revenue from selling more of those assets, it's a problem, because these legendary items, they take a lot of time and a lot of people and a lot of money to make.
Yeah.
So players, of course you got to do right by the players, but you also have to make sure that you can continue to make the game that the players like.
Yeah.
And that's just about like understanding the ramifications of your decisions on what you put on chain versus keep off chain.
Yeah, no, it 100%, man. It's crazy that kind of hit me a little bit when you said the ramifications of once you put it out there, it's out there. You know what I mean? And yeah, you're right, man. But hey, Mike guy, last question before I let you go. I know you guys are super busy, but what does the future look like for Faraway? What should we be excited about or looking forward to in the near or distant future?
Oh my God, a lot of game launches. So we have Dookie Dash coming up. It'll be, maybe Gargo will kill me, but it'll be in September. I won't tell the exact date.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we're gearing up for that. There's Rebel Skies, which will use like heavy metal IP. This will be, I think it'll be like sometime in October. There's Shadowline, which is coming out also using heavy metal IP. That'll be in, I think it'll be in December. I want to say sometime around like late Q4. And then just more stuff, more creators making cool things that they can now use in like Dookie Dash and other places. So I think just bigger and more vibrant ecosystem, and then we'll just continue building.
My vision for you guys is like Ready Player One type shit. You know what I mean? You go there, it's a whole world. It's the whole entire world, man. That's what I think that you guys are heading to.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, after everything said, man, I mean, it's just fucking, it just makes sense. You know, it just makes it's the vision that I have really come up with myself for you guys, what you guys are heading towards, man. It's fucking awesome, man. But hey, thank you for hopping on the show, my man, giving us the inside scoop about you, Faraway, and everything that you guys are doing. But before we sign off, please let people know where's the best way they can find you and everything that you're doing. Yeah, I mean, find me on Discord. Like, if you go to the Faraway Discord, it's discord.gg/Faraway. You'll see Paley. That's me. Just ping me there. On Twitter, I'm at apaley13. Ping me there. I'm usually around. Yeah, super cool, man. Hey.